studios of the MetroNews Radio Network in Morgantown, this is West Virginia's premier sports talk show.
From Weirton to Welch, Martinsburg to Matewan, and all points in between, this is the Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Northside Automotive, Route 19 in Summersville. We'll beat the advertised price of any other dealer in the state, guaranteed. Now here's your host, Tony Caridi.
Hi, everybody. Good evening to you. Welcome in Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline on your radio or wherever you may be listening on, whatever device you may be listening on, comes your way on this 21st day of October. Thanks so much for being with us in studio tonight with the beloved Coach Greg Hunter and, oh, why not, the beloved Goose, Randy Jerko. Good evening to you, man.
Good evening, all.
What's happening?
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. We've got baseball going on right now, and it looks as though the Toronto Blue Jays have placed themselves in a great position to edge to within one game of the American League Championship Series. They started today down 3-1, needing the victory. Otherwise, they were cooked. And they're on course. Right now, they're playing in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Troy Tulowitzki just hit a 3-run double in the bottom of the sixth with 2 away now, and Toronto has expanded on its lead. They now lead Kansas City 5-0, and again, they're playing in the bottom half of the sixth. And so if the Blue Jays hang, they will be down in the series 3-2. Coming up tonight at Wrigley, Dodgers and the Cubs. The Cubs and the Mets will continue, and, of course, the Mets have the commanding 3-0 lead in that series. The Mets looking to go to the World Series as a franchise for the 5th time. They went in 69, 1973, 1986, and the last time they were there was in the 2000 season, trying to go for a 5th time in franchise history, and they obviously are in a very good position to do exactly that. And again, Blue Jays have tagged on 4 here in the inning, now leading at 5-0. Coming up on our program this evening, speaking of baseball, we're going to be joined in studio by a major leaguer, a starting major leaguer, Jed Jerko, San Diego Padres, Morgantown native, Goose's brother, will be joining us. He'll be in studio here in just a little bit. We'll talk with him about his most recent season. It was a roller coaster ride of a season for Jed. It started with he started the season going down all the hills, and then finally, as the season went on, he kept getting warmer and warmer and climbed pretty good to the top of a hill. So we'll talk with Jed coming up. Also, we mentioned this the other night. I don't know if it was last night or the night before, but WV women's soccer player Kadisha Buchanan has been named as one of the 10 finalists for the FIFA Player of the Year. Just an absolutely incredible honor. I mean, think
not
about
college.
This. Yeah, this is not a college award. This is not a North American award. This is not a North American, South American award. This is the world. She's been named one of the top 10 players in the world, women's soccer, and she's a candidate for that honor. And, of course, the WV women have played once again so well this season. They're ranked in the top 3 in the country and are getting ready for their last couple of regular season games. Then postseason will be here, and West Virginia has positioned itself to make a run, thanks in large part to Kadisha Buchanan, who, by the way, is the only defensive player, the only defender on that list of the 10 players. Meanwhile, you like to talk about money? How about this deal? University of Texas and Nike have agreed to a new licensing and apparel deal. They're basically renewing the agreement that they had for a lot more cash. It's a 15-year deal.
Wow. Okay, that sounds good, Wait, you get a couple of T-shirts over that? What are they giving them?
15-year deal, man. So let's see here. Let's do some math. Hunter, how old are you again?
I am 54. So by the time I'm 69, they'll be re-upping the deal.
The Nike deal will end. The new Nike deal will end when Hunter is 69 years old and pushing his walker up Law School Hill to get to a Mountaineer game. That's when it will end. I'll be a spring chicken at that point. I'll just be 60 what am I going to be? I'll be doggone. I'm 68. How old did you say you were?
I'm 54.
Oh, you're only a year older than me.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I always thought you were like 9 to 10 years older than I was.
What's 15 years now?
Well, the Nike deal with Texas. 15 years. It's going to be a 15-year deal. So Hunter's going to be 69.
That's depressing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be 49.
Yeah, but hey, you know what, though? You know what? At least we'll have seen the Mountaineers in Pitt before then.
Barely, but yeah.
Barely. Oh, so the deal is monstrous. It's expected to be worth $200 million for the universities. And so one of the most wealthiest athletic programs in the country can put that into its annual budget. So big time.
Just $12 million a year.
Yeah,
between
just 12.
friends. Yeah,
$12 million a year, get it done. One other note here before we take a break and we get in here with Jedley, and that is thinking back to last night. We were talking about we spent a lot of time on the Rick Pitino Louisville deal. Now the more I keep thinking about it, now there's no way he didn't know. Now there's no way he didn't know.
Well, you were pretty convinced last night, but you've convinced yourself even more.
Even more. On campus?
Yeah.
Right. Like
on campus.
Yeah, in the dormitory named after his brother-in-law.
On campus. You know, here's the thing. Here's how this works in the world of basketball departments. Okay, you want to know how it works? So you've got the head coach. You've got the assistant coaches. You have got the director of operations. You've got graduate assistants. Sometimes you'll have a volunteer assistant.
a video guy.
A video guy. You'll have student managers. So all the people that I just described to you, like on a flow chart, basically, you know what those guys are? In some way, shape, or form, what they really, truly are, they're all informants. Totally serious.
Yep.
I'm totally serious.
Yeah.
If something's not right, their job, their role is to spread it up the ladder so that it can be corrected. That's how it works. Seriously. Guys being stupid downtown, they go out, student managers see it, GAs see it, student managers, they say, hey, man, just telling you what, Johnny Smith, he was acting like an absolute goof the other night. He's going to have a problem. That gets back to the assistant coach. The assistant coach gets the kid, brings him in and says, hey, I'm letting you know right now. Or the big boss will find out. Or they do tell the big boss, then the big boss gets. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
So for all of this to go on, here's what I'd do. If Rick Pitino's clean on this deal, I'd say, all right, Rick, fine. You knew nothing about it, right? Is that right? Is that what you're saying, Rick? You knew nothing about it? Now, it's not permissible in a court of law, but we're not going to go to a court of law. Doesn't matter anyway. Let's take a little lie detector test. Let's show everybody how much you really didn't know. I'd take that. I'd buy into that one. I'd buy my FanDuel and my DraftKings. I'd buy all the money I could do on that one. Let's go. I want to find out.
I like that he took the Bill Belichick approach with the Deflategate, where Belichick just showed up and goes, I don't know anything about that. Talk to the quarterback. Like Pitino just basically went for that playbook.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. Talk to McGee. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So after sleeping on it, I'm less inclined. Plus,
those guys know if a guy misses like an 8:30 motion picture appreciation class.
exactly.
They didn't know that was going on.
Exactly. Not buying it. Anyway, 6:15. Boy, I tell you what, we got a major leaguer. We got a major leaguer in the audience with us. 5-0. He's studying the Blue Jays and the Royals. Do you play either of those guys no, nothing? They didn't come across your way in interleague play this year? Jed Jerko's on deck. Kadisha Buchanan later on in the show. Stay with us. We've got more coming up. Northside Automotive, statewide sports line.
As a cyclist, we make choices. We choose which motorcycle manufacturer to buy from. We choose what type of motorcycle we ride. We even choose where and when to ride. We also choose to ride straight, alcohol and drug-free. Alcohol is involved in 50% of motorcycle fatalities in West Virginia. That's 1 in 2 drivers who die each year. Don't become a statistic. Ride straight, alcohol and drug-free. Presented by the West Virginia Department of Transportation, Governor's Highway Safety and Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Program.
Good-paying jobs with great benefits are available now. As a correctional officer with the West Virginia Division of Corrections, you'll also have educational opportunities for a degree in criminal justice at reduced prices. High school diploma or GED and drug screening required. Take advantage of an accelerated hiring and training process that other state agencies don't offer. National Guard members get partial credit in the Training Academy. Visit WVDOC.com.
Thursday nights on MetroNews, it's Mountain East Conference football. This Thursday, the Notre Dame Falcons visit the West Liberty Hilltoppers, and MetroNews brings you all the action. Join Travis Jones and Rasheed Marshall for the call of the game starting at 7 p.m. Don't miss Division II football at its best as the Falcons take on the Hilltoppers on Mountain East Conference Thursday night football from MetroNews and WVMetroNews.com.
There it is! There it is! Go!
All Medicare eligible individuals. It's time for open enrollment. Take advantage of the health plan's Medicare plans with benefits such as Silver Sneakers gym membership, an extensive list of doctors and hospitals. Contact us 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week at 1-877-847-7915 or visit healthplan.org/Medicare. This information is not a complete description of benefits. Contact the plan for more information. Limitations, copayments, and restrictions may apply. Benefits and/or copayments, coinsurance may change on January 1 of each year.
The Northside Automotive statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes. On MetroNews. For 30 years, the voice of West Virginia.
To navigate any map, you need a legend. Celebrating the most awarded SUV lineup ever. Jeep Cherokee 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year. Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. And introducing Jeep Renegade, the most capable small SUV ever. Now get an additional $500 bonus cash at the Jeep Celebration event. Get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Jeep Cherokee Limited.
When something is missing from the picture, it doesn't make sense. Without the right people, your work site is just a site. Your office is just a space. Let's Train West Virginia has grant funding for on-the-job training in today's in-demand careers. Workers learn while they earn, and companies can be reimbursed up to $10,000 per eligible new hire. So qualified employees and satisfied employers complete the picture. Learn more at letstrainwv.com.
Almost there. Just 5 more minutes. Almost home.
Statistics show that 80% of auto fatalities occur close to home on rural roads.
Gosh, cops.
That's why law enforcement is stepping up rural patrols and cracking down on impaired driving. If you are over the limit, you are under arrest because drinking and driving don't mix. Remember, over the limit, under arrest. This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Welcome back, everybody. Northside Automotive statewide sports line. Tony Caridi along with the beloved Coach Greg Hunter and a pair of jerkos. We've got a Randy, a.k.a. Goose, and a Jed, a.k.a. San Diego Padre, joining us on the program. It's time for your annual visit. How you doing, buddy?
Going well. How's everyone in here?
Oh, we're real good. We're real good. Do you watch a lot of baseball? You were just sitting there we got 4 TVs for people that don't know in our studio. By the way, if you'd like, you can watch our show on our web stream at WVMetroNews.com. We've got 4 big TVs side by side. Do you watch baseball a lot in season?
Not so much in season. Now that our season's over, I watch the playoffs. Kind of envious of the team still in it, but yeah, it's fun to watch postseason baseball.
Off day, if it's an off day, you're at home. It's 7 o'clock, and let's see. I don't watch television, so like one of those zombie programs that people watch, or a baseball game. Where are you going to?
Probably neither. Anything else.
Anything else? You just kind of like you turn it out.
Yeah, just whatever's on.
You had an interesting year. I thought you had an interesting year. Really weird start, wasn't it?
It's been normal for me the last
I
couple.
know. Well, we can get. I mean, this was no different. What the heck's going on with you? You do realize the season starts in April, right? You know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure at the end of spring training I'm gonna pull a hammy or something so I miss the first 30 games. Be ready for May 1st.
Why do you think? What's going on? I mean, you do well, right? I mean, spring training. You're all good to go, right? Normally, you're hitting the ball decently or not as well. What's up?
Doing okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is.
Well, you got to figure it out.
If I had to figure it out, I wouldn't keep doing what I've been doing.
I understand that, but I mean, this was the third time now. This was the third go through. When you looked at it and you said, okay, let me see, what's the commonality that's happened here in my last 3 years, and what the heck's going on? What are you thinking it is?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm
really
not taking that. You taking that, Hunter?
Well, I think he's right. If he knew what it was, he'd have fixed it, right? Wouldn't he?
Well, wait, let's go down the road here then. Okay, so you're basically ineffective. Is that a nice way of saying it? You were ineffective early in the season.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they said, guess what? You're not going to come here, and you have to leave. They said, you're basically, you see this ticket, you're going away. So they send you down to AAA, and you get yourself straightened out, and you come back, and to be quite honest with you, you played well from the time you came back to the end of the season. And, I mean, you finished up, your batting average was .247 this year. You ended up playing in 128 games, which was actually 17 more games than you played in the previous season. And it's 3 more games than you played in your rookie season. You batted .249 as a rookie. You ended up batting .247 this year. You take a look at your home runs. You had 16 homers, 57 ribbies, more RBI than you did the previous year. So, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to figure this out for you. What are you laughing about? I'm going to figure it out for you.
Psychologist.
I'm going to figure it out for you. So, you didn't start well. They send you down to AAA. You do well. You get back up to the big boy team. And then, slowly but surely, you start hitting the ball well. What was different in your swing when you got back the second time compared to the first time?
The actual swing wasn't a whole lot different. I think if you ask the people that have watched the games at the beginning of the season and then the second half, I would say they said, well, your swing still looks the same. Well, you know what happened, but a lot of it was approach, and then about the end of May, I wasn't really playing much. My swing kind of lost my timing, and any time a hitter loses his timing, it's going to be tough to, especially at the highest level, to perform the way you want. Was it more mental then, more than a mechanical? I wouldn't say it was mental. I mean, I always consider myself pretty strong mentally, but I think there was some physical things that needed to change, a couple mental things, just as far as approach, stuff like that. What were they? Like what? What mentally did you do different second time around? Just my approach to to the at bats, kind of what I was trying to do, what I was trying to produce in the at bat, trying to just throw a good at bat out, not trying to do anything in particular like I was doing earlier in the season.
Jed, we talk so much about confidence and what an important part that is in any athletic endeavor. Is that true for you? I mean, did it waver a little bit when you were struggling, and did that come back quickly in June and July? I mean, you always got to stay confident, but I guess when you're hitting 100, it's hard to say. I'm real confident I'm going to go out and get a hit this time. But the way we are, if we're confident players. I mean, anytime if you're not confident, you shouldn't even be out there playing. So my confidence was always high, but I just wasn't going out and producing.
It was so different this year for the San Diego Padres. A lot of people here who don't follow them, you just know that They kind of haven't had a lot of national buzz. This year they get a new general manager. He brings in, obviously, Matt Kemp, who a lot of people know. He brings in Justin Upton. He trades for Craig Kimbrell. They signed James Shields. Was it different in the clubhouse and going out there with the expectations different? Usually San Diego's always kind of been the scrappy team that no one thinks of, where going into the season people thought a lot of them.
Well, I think any season, as far as that I've been a part of, we've gone in confident and expecting to win every season. And I mean, at the beginning of the season, everyone says we're going to win the World Series this year. And if that's not what you're saying, there's probably something wrong. But obviously the expectation was a little bit higher. But anytime you get a bunch of new guys, it takes time to mesh and gel with everybody and to kind of figure out what each person's trying to do. That can cause problems up and down a lineup if you're batting in front of guys and behind guys that you're not comfortable with. with, kind of understand what their at-bats are going to be like. It kind of can sometimes affect yours also.
You ever heard that joke about, like, a kid goes away to college and his parents leave and they don't tell him where they moved to? So wasn't that kind of sort of like the situation with your manager this year and your general manager? I mean, like when you came, hey, wait a second, this isn't the way it used to be. You had a lot of turmoil, didn't you? I mean, a lot of upper office stuff going on. Your name is being kicked around as far as, hey, they're going to trade him. He's on the trade. That was the first time that happened, right? I mean, you went from, as a rookie when they signed you with the new deal and the whole deal. I mean, this is our guy. And then all of a sudden, everyone that loved you kind of turned and they were gone. How'd you deal with that? Welcome to Major League Baseball.
Hey, that's what it's all about. What have you done for me lately? That's it's a big thing. But yeah, there was like you said, there was a lot of turmoil when you don't win games like the way you're expected to. You know, it's going to fall on certain people, and it just happened to be our manager at that certain time. And even since I've been here, our general manager got fired also last year. So when things aren't going well, obviously you hate to see it, but it's just part of the game, and it's the business part of the game nowadays.
You'd played second base with the Padres until midway through this year. They moved you to shortstop. You'd played a lot of shortstop growing up, but was that an odd move for you? Did it feel like you were back in high school or back at WVU, or what was
feel like
that
you're
like?
Back at University High, baby?
Yeah, yeah, we're back at Holly Field. The fields are just a little bit better, but yeah, it was fun. It was I definitely didn't see it coming. You know, Pat Murphy, the manager at the time, we were in Colorado. I think it was a Friday game. He came to me in the clubhouse and asked if I thought I could play shortstop. And as any confident player, I said, yeah, I gotta be just fine over there. And he goes, maybe just start taking some grounders. We've got a couple ideas going through our head. And I said, okay, that's fine. So take grounders Saturday. Sunday day game, we're not on the field. No extra work. Monday, I'm in the lineup at shortstop. So it happened pretty quick, but it went pretty well. I was more comfortable than I thought I would at the start.
So what you're basically saying is it works in Major League Baseball, kind of similar to like Legion. I mean, like, right? It would be no different. It'd be no different than Dale Miller going over to you and say, "Hey, Jet, why don't you take a few at shortstop? We might play you there someday." But the only thing was, it was 3 days later, and it's a Major League Baseball game.
Yeah, there's not that many people watching us play anyway, so it wasn't a big deal.
Did you feel comfortable there?
I did. Probably about the first 3 innings, I was kind of anxious a little bit, kind of nervous as to obviously the first grounder, and finally got it out of the way and felt pretty good. And from that point on, my confidence kept growing. I felt good over there, and things went pretty well.
Judge Yurko is our guest in studio. If you'd like to join us, you can give us a call. He's going to be here till about 6:43.5. And the number to call is 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK. That's the number to call. So what are you going to do differently? So here's my here's my new psychological thing. I'm helping you with this, unsolicited psychology. So if you've started slower than you wanted to in each of the 3, right, then you've got to do something different this off season, or it's going to be the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So what are you going to do differently here?
The offseason is not going to be a whole lot different. My thinking is, hold on. Spring training is going to be different for me this year, I hope. Whenever we name a new manager and get to spring training, I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to try to play in as many games to get as many at-bats as I can, because it seems like the more at-bats I get, the better I get. So hopefully if I can get 50, 60, 70 at-bats in spring training, I can really get myself where I need to be to start the season.
What have you been getting normally in spring?
I would say somewhere between 30, 45, somewhere in there. So I'd like to get the at-bats up, even if days I don't play the field, maybe get a DH day in there or something along those lines.
Judge Yurko is our guest. We'll take a break. Back with more if you'd like to join us. 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK. We'll be back.
To navigate any map, you need a legend like the capable Jeep Cherokee, 4-Wheeler Magazine's 2015 4-Wheeler of the Year, and Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever, with best-in-class 30 mpg highway and 730-mile driving range. So you can push even farther into uncharted and unmapped territory. Get a great deal on the most awarded and legendary SUV lineup ever at the Jeep Celebration event. Right now, purchase and get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Jeep Cherokee Limited. The Jeep SUV lineup has received more awards in its lifetime than any other competitive SUV lineup. EPA estimated 4x2 with available EcoDiesel V6 and 24.6-gallon fuel tank. 0% APR financing for 72 months equals $13.89 per month per $1,000 financed for well-qualified buyers regardless of down payment when financed through Chrysler Capital. Residency restrictions apply. Take retail delivery by 11/2. Jeep is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Come on, man, we're gonna be late. We need to leave.
Yeah, we need to hurry. Let's go.
Please slow down. You are entering the work zone.
Oh man, they're working on the road. We're not gonna make it.
You are approaching the work zone. Please slow down.
What is that?
It's just the GPS. Don't pay attention to it.
Slow down, slow down, slow down.
When you speed in a work zone, you are endangering your life and the lives of others. Slow down. It's the law.
Be a smart driver. Don't speed in work zones.
This safety message from the West Virginia Department of Transportation Division of Highways, saving one life at a time.
The Northside Automotive statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes. On Metro News. For 30 years, the voice of West Virginia.
To navigate any map, you need a legend. Celebrating the most awarded SUV lineup ever. Jeep Cherokee 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year. Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. And introducing Jeep Renegade, the most capable small SUV ever. Now get an additional $500 bonus cash at the Jeep Celebration event. Get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Jeep Cherokee Limited.
When something is missing from the picture, it doesn't make sense. Without the right people, your work site is just a site. Your office is just a space. Let's Train West Virginia has grant funding for on-the-job training in today's in-demand careers. Workers learn while they earn, and companies can be reimbursed up to $10,000 per eligible new hire. So qualified employees and satisfied employers complete the picture. Learn more at letstrainwv.com.
Almost there. Just 5 more minutes. Almost home.
Statistics show that 80% of auto fatalities occur close to home on rural roads.
Cops.
That's why law enforcement is stepping up rural patrols and cracking down on impaired driving. If you are over the limit, you are under arrest because drinking and driving don't mix. Remember, over the limit, under arrest. This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Welcome back, everybody. Northside Automotive statewide Sportsline. Tony Caridi with the coach, Greg Hunter. Jed Jerko, Randy Jerko with us in studio. A reminder, if you're looking for something to do here in the great state of West Virginia, easy thing to do is what's going on? You're wondering what's going on? Website, go to the word to, T-O, go to WV.com. Right now, you can experience Fright Nights at Glade Springs. Or you can enter into ACE's Zombie Run. Plenty to see and do in wild and wonderful West Virginia. The Fright Nights run from October 9 through the 31st, so they are underway and are heading toward the final stretch. Zombie Run takes place Halloween. Participants can register online. So if you like to get scared and that kind of stuff, this is your month. Go to WV.com. All right, Goose, you had a question regarding baseball culture.
Yeah, I'm always interested in this because, at home, I'm more of a enjoy yourself, and then our dad, who's loved baseball his entire life, is a little more of a traditionalist. But I was wondering, with the Jose Bautista, the bat flip thing, where it got a lot of talk, pretty much ever since it happened. The other team didn't like it so much. How do you guys stand on that? Do you guys even care about that, or is there still those quote unquote unwritten rules of baseball where if a guy does something like that, you can kind of expect maybe don't dig in next time?
Yeah, it's free game on retaliation, I guess, but I guess I don't really. I could care less what's going on. I mean, I think it was a little excessive, but at the same time, it's easy to get caught up in the moment in a postseason game. You had pretty much a game-winning homer, so it's just, I mean, obviously the pitchers get mad, but that's probably the same guy that if he strikes him out in that big situation, he's going to fist pump and yell something. So it kind of goes both ways. Obviously the rule is don't try to show up somebody on the field. So and if you do, you could probably expect something to happen.
See, that's wild, man. I mean, football, some jackbag catches a 13-yard first down pass, and I mean, he gets up there, he's doing Zorro. I mean, he's crossing himself. I mean, if that were the same rules that applied getting shown up in football and in it'd be a totally different thing. I mean, how many cornerbacks, right? If a cornerback gets showed up by a guy reacting after a catch, then he had to retaliate. You imagine what football would become? It'd be a zoo.
It'd be MMA.
It'd be a zoo. It'd be an absolute zoo. I think you guys are too sensitive in baseball.
Yeah, some people are.
Have you been hit? Have you been retaliated upon for something one of your teammates has done?
I don't think I have been victim of anything like that. Not that I know of, at least. I don't get hit very often. I think 3 or 4 times a year at most. So I try to get out of the way.
How many bench clearings did you guys have this year?
I think we had one, I believe, this year.
Won the whole year?
Yeah, won the whole year.
That's pretty good. You guys soft or what?
It's 75 degrees and sunny in San Diego. What can you be mad about?
People don't get that mad when they're in San Diego.
So, like, when you do, like, what's the consensus? When you go, okay, here we come. We're going. You've been in the league now for 3 years. Like, is it, hey, go in there and engage? I mean, just like grab a guy and engage, but hold, but don't go. You're not going out there immediately throwing. So what's the rule on that?
I've been on both ends. The very first time, probably Game 7 of my career, Carlos Quentin breaks Greinke's collarbone. I'm young, full of energy, excited to be in the big leagues. First guy out there, I dive into the middle of the pile, not expecting. I don't know what's going to happen. I just kind of roll around on the ground a little bit and then get up. And then the second time, I just kind of we kind of go out there and I just kind of look and people yell at each other and they point and scream. At everyone's too afraid to actually throw a punch because no one really wants to get suspended either.
Right.
Do you even know what they're screaming? There's a lot of different languages spoken in baseball. You got a lot of guys out there. You just kind of tell from body language, like, I don't know if I really want to mess with that guy. He seems pretty ready to go.
Yeah, there's a few guys that get hot, and I think the Latin guys kind of just go off to the side and they'll talk to each other and give handshakes, and then the American guys are the ones doing most of the yelling and pushing and holding each other back.
You've played 364 Major League Baseball games right now, so almost you've played a game every day for one solid year. What's the biggest thing you've learned about being a pro and about Major League Baseball that you didn't know going into it?
I would say the travel, how hard the travel is, and especially now with the twin boys and being away from them as much as we are. I mean, it definitely gets tough. There'll be times we go on a 10-day road trip and I'll wake up and have to kind of get my bearings to figure out what city I'm in. So
Sure.
that can definitely be tough at times.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
What have you found out about the players? I mean, you've watched them your whole life. Better than you thought? Not better than you thought?
No,
especially pitchers.
Just as good as I ever could imagine. It's best in the world. And when you think about that, I tell people one thing they say, what's the cool thing about being a big leaguer? And I say, obviously on any given day, I'm one of 30 either second basemen or one of 30 shortstops in the world to get to play that position. So that's when you look at that, I'm not sure what kind of ratio that is, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like winning the lottery a few times. And after you take a look at your contract, it's kind of like winning the lottery. Anyway, you've played 3. Your name has been kicked around here potentially as being traded. You have any idea, what did they tell you at the end of the season, if anything, of what your future plans are with the organization?
Nothing.
Zero.
No, didn't really have any discussions with anybody. I think maybe just because obviously the manager wasn't going to come back, which we didn't know that at the time, but it happened pretty quick. I think pretty sure the front office knew at that time, so that would have made it easier to have a sit down with the manager as what he expected. But I'm sure that some of that stuff will happen this offseason with the changes, but not a whole lot to tell. And with the trade talk, they don't say a whole lot. My agent called me on the day of the deadline and said, "Hey, your name's getting thrown out a little bit. Don't be surprised if you're traded." And obviously I didn't get traded, so didn't hear anything as far as that goes either. So it was nothing.
What was that like personally? Because I can speak for myself because we were actually there with you. We were in Miami, me and Dad and Scott, and some people went down there, and we were in your hotel room, and I just remember it wasn't like your phone was ringing and everything, but we're watching MLB Network, we're checking Twitter. Well, what was that like personally?
I was kind of hanging out. I think you saw I was still pretty calm because I had no control over what was going to happen. I just kind of sat there and was getting ready for the game. And the funny thing was there was a lot of names on our team, so we all kind of were in the clubhouse, and no one wanted to get changed because they weren't sure what the future was. So we were all just kind of sitting in our street clothes for a couple hours until the deadline passed. And as soon as the deadline passed, we all just said, well, I guess we're staying. So we started getting ready.
I'm not putting it on, man. I ain't putting it on. I ain't putting it on until I know for sure. I'm not going to take it off if I put it on. Your batting average through 3 years is .241. What do you think it can be now that you've got the full feel of this league? You've got a bunch of years left. What can it be in your mind after seeing the league? Can you be a 275 guy? What could it be?
I mean, hopefully I could be higher. Obviously, that's the goal. But it's tough. You look through the league, and I think the number of 300 hitters it's going to keep dropping. The pitchers are throwing so hard, and they're so good, and especially with the matchups now. I mean, obviously, pretty much now your starting pitchers try to get through 5 innings, then they get to the bullpen. So you're seeing a lot of new guys. So obviously, I'd like to hit in the 280 range with some power.
And no more steroids. That also has affect batters. Let's face it, it's become more of a pitcher's game. There's less guys out there that are cracking that thing. Offense is down from what it used to be.
I was
not that you ever indulged in that whatsoever.
I never came up through the steroid era. I was a little bit behind it. So
sure.
Ever since I've been in the league, the game's mostly been clean.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. The difference for you, though, as you get older, do you see pitchers better? Do you know what pitchers are going to do to you? You seem to have a good recollection of how people work you.
Yeah, it's obviously facing guys, starting to face them more and more, and starting to collect at bats against guys. You start to understand what their stuff does, and what they're going to try to do. And obviously, it's always changing. The same way as my approach against them is always changing. So it's going to be a constant cat and mouse game. But obviously, it helps to be able to see them, kind of understand what their ball does in situations.
If you could talk to the people at Major League Baseball and have them make one rule change, what would it be? Would it be a strike zone thing? Would it be something that you dealt with that was been a kind of hot button topic, slides into second base from guys?
As a middle infielder, obviously, the rule is what the rule says is what it is correct. They just don't call it by that. Whereas the runner is supposed to be able to touch the base when they slide. I had a situation where I got taken out this year, and it really wasn't even that close. I probably wasn't even on the base myself. But, the rule is right. It's just they just don't enforce it right.
Mm-hmm. Jed, thanks so much for coming in with us, buddy.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
I can't wait to the start of the season because what we've gone through today, we've worked through some things for you. And don't you think so, Coos? I think we're on top of it.
I'm ready for it to start, man. I miss baseball when it's not around.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Okay, buddy. We really do appreciate you coming in.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Jed Jerko, our guest in studio. Stay with us when we come back. She's just been named one of the 10 finalists for the FIFA Women's Player of the Year. Kadisha Buchanan is on deck. We'll join her when we return on the Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline.
Have you ever wondered just who are the Friends of Coal? Well, there are 50,000 West Virginia families who support the state's coal industry, and they look a lot like you. Honest, hardworking, good neighbors who want a future for themselves and their state. They're coal miners, housewives, school teachers, mechanics, doctors, college professors, pizza delivery guys, your friends. The Friends of Coal know and understand the importance of the coal industry to our state's economy. They know about the 60,000 jobs the coal industry creates in our state. They know about the $25 billion the industry pumps into our economy. And they know that without coal, our state would face an economic catastrophe. Come to think of it, that sounds like most West Virginians. Let Congress know you are a proud West Virginian, and you are a friend of coal.
Coal is West Virginia.
This is Ken Tyree, your West Virginia State Fire Marshal. Developing a fire escape plan is especially critical if you are over age 65 or have a physical, mental, or sensory disability. That's because you have a higher risk of being hurt or killed in a fire. Begin today to create your fire escape plan. Practice it until you're comfortable with it. Choose adaptive fire alarms and fire extinguishers that are best suited for your disability. This message is from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal.
All Medicare eligible individuals. It's time for open enrollment. Take advantage of the health plan's Medicare plans with benefits such as Silver Sneakers gym membership, an extensive list of doctors and hospitals. Contact us 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week at 1-877-847-7915 or visit healthplan.org/Medicare. This information is not a complete description of benefits. Contact the plan for more information. Limitations, copayments, and restrictions may apply. Benefits and/or copayments, coinsurance may change on January 1 of each year.
The Northside Automotive statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes, on Metro News. For 30 years, the voice of West Virginia.
To navigate any map, you need a legend. Celebrating the most awarded SUV lineup ever. Jeep Cherokee 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year. Jeep Grand Cherokee. To navigate any map, you need a legend. Celebrating the most awarded SUV lineup ever. Jeep Cherokee 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year. Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. And introducing Jeep Renegade, the most capable small SUV ever. Now get an additional $500 bonus cash at the Jeep Celebration event. Get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Jeep Cherokee Limited.
When something is missing from the picture, it doesn't make sense. Without the right people, your work site is just a site. Your office is just a space. Let's Train West Virginia has grant funding for on-the-job training in today's in-demand careers. Workers learn while they earn, and companies can be reimbursed up to $10,000 per eligible new hire. So qualified employees and satisfied employers complete the picture. Learn more at letstrainwv.com.
Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody. Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline. Tony Caridi along with Coach Greg Hunter and the Goose, Randy Jurko. And we are delighted to be joined in studio, not in studio, but actually on the phone. Same difference, on the Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline by WVU women's soccer standout Kadisha Buchanan. Good evening to you, Kadisha. How are you?
Good, I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Congratulations 1,000 times. My goodness, what an honor that you were bestowed upon this week. Did you know that was coming? Did you feel that was coming, or did it just catch you here and they said, hey, guess what?
Yeah, definitely. I was totally caught off guard. They didn't tell me anything. I didn't know the award was coming out even that day. And the reason why I knew is because, like, a couple of my teammates from Canada, we have a group me, and they're, like, saying congrats, and I still didn't know why they were congratulating me. So then I went on Twitter, and that's when I found out.
Put that into perspective, if you would. I've been talking about it for a couple of days here on the show, and I was, I guess the best way I keep saying is, like, this is not like the best in the country. This is not the best college player. This is the best in the world. Put that into perspective. What that means for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely still shocked. My name is even on the list because I know a bunch of, like, the greatest of the greatest soccer players I know have been, like, nominated or even won those awards. So it's definitely, like, shocked to. I'm still shocked to see my name just contending among the other great players that were at the World Cup this year.
You were honored at the World Cup as the best young player in the event, and now this honor. What is it that people in the soccer world love about Kadisha Buchanan? What is it?
I think I'm a different center back that people are normally used to. I feel like I'm more like dynamic. I'm not like I just defend. Like I feel like I bring a lot of the attack into play. So I feel like that's different from like a lot of center back positions.
Mm-hmm.
Kadisha, you've played a lot of soccer in the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Any fatigue as you come down the end of the regular season? Obviously, you got a big postseason in front of you. You want to be at your best, but are your legs tired?
I mean, there's definitely a bit of fatigue there, but I feel like I can handle it all. It's just all about like recovery and then trying to maintain your legs and just like talking to the coaches and keeping up and recognizing what your body needs and what your body doesn't need. So just listening to your body is what's really helping me to not overpush myself or anything like that.
So I'm interested. I'm young. I play video games. What's the deal? Why are the people the NCAA and FIFA not allowing your likeness to be on the FIFA game? Is it the amateur? Just because you're in college? I mean, you played in the World Cup. You should be allowed to play with yourself on a video game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think it's just because I'm in college and even like with the college football, they don't put like their players out there. So I think like it's the same thing with the FIFA game.
Do you play FIFA?
Do I? Yeah. I mean, I have FIFA 15, so I'm a pretty big gamer too. But
are you good?
Yeah, I'm pretty decent. Yeah.
Best player on the Mountaineer team is who?
Best player for what?
For on game when you're on the games, when you're playing your video games. Best player in FIFA on the team. Like if you squared off with your teammates playing FIFA, who wins that thing?
Oh, I definitely win. I mean, a lot of my other teammates are like ex-phys majors, so I don't think they're much onto video games, but I'm not, so I think I got a lot more time on my hands.
This Mountaineer team has had a record-setting season already to this point. Highest ranking ever. You got up to 2. You're at 3 right now. As we head into the home stretch, you played your last regular season home games this past weekend. Now you got some action on the road before the playoffs start. What is the sense on this team in regard to winning a national championship?
I just think it's definitely like staying on task. I think right now we're at a great point in the season. I call it like the record-breaking like season because we've broken a lot of records just for like the Mountaineer program and just how far we're going in the NCAA. So I feel like we're just keep focusing on like next game, next task mentality. So I feel like that's really helping our team.
What's it going to take to have great success in postseason? What, in your opinion, you went through, you've seen it here. What's it take to be successful? What do you need once the regular season is over and you start playing elimination games?
I feel like it comes down to more mentality if you really want it or not, because I feel like the mind will take over the body once like your body starts to get tired. So near like the end of the season, like a lot of bodies will start going. So I feel like if you're mentally strong and just like mentally engaged in the game and keep focusing on next task and just staying engaged in the game, I feel like you definitely have a great chance of making it deep into the finals.
Kadisha, I would think after playing in the World Cup that the college game appears slower. Is it for you? Has it slowed down and I don't want to say easier, but become to the point where you understand it better because you played at such a high level this summer?
Yeah, I definitely find like what you said, it's probably not the best soccer, but like compared to like obviously the world stage, the level is not as high, but definitely you have to be fully engaged. Like mentally, it's still mentally tough. Yeah. So I feel like that's the same, like to stay engaged for 90 minutes, even 90 plus minutes when it goes into like double overtime. So I feel like that's different, and just like I feel like the roughness and like different type of things are different. Like on the world stage, I feel like it's a lot of athleticism here and like a lot of different players. So
yeah. Well, I tell you this: you've been a great role model for this entire program, and we certainly congratulate you for what you guys have been able to accomplish individually. We congratulate you on the honor already and the honors that can be forthcoming. We wish you guys the best as you get ready to head in toward the final portion of this regular season and then in the postseason. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, Kadisha.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. You take care. There she is, Kadisha Buchanan. Not only a great soccer player, but on the video game side, she dusts any of her teammates. Like, bring them on. Let's go.
I love that too.
There
was no, some of the other people, it was like, oh, I'm going to win.
What did she say? There were a lot of what majors?
Exercise physiology.
So that's hard.
Yeah.
Meaning they're spending all their time away from practicing the books.
Yeah, that's what you go if you're going to be a doctor or something like that.
Oh yeah,
you're going to exercise.
I didn't say So the exercise phys majors study. So like if you're in broadcast journalism, I mean, oh goodness, might as well just go to the University of Phoenix. I mean, it's not that hard. Anyway, that's what happens with those broadcast journalism people. Just not real difficult at all. Not whatsoever. It's kind of a free ride. Kind of a free deal. All right.
Reminiscent?
No, just I think broadcast journalism would probably be hard for someone that's wired to do exercise physiology.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Certainly.
I mean, like, okay, now go out in front of those people and speak. You're right? It's not.
Yeah, it's like giving us a scalpel.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Don't give me.
I don't want any kind of tools.
Don't give me a stent and say, here, fix that heart valve. I know you don't even put a stent in a heart valve. I know you put it in this. You know what I mean. That's the deal. All right. So, update. Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays continue to lead, although Kansas City has scored in the game. Last time we looked up from the monitor, it was 6-1, Blue Jays on top. And coming up again, we've got the Cubs and the Mets getting ready to go at Wrigley Field. So potentially you're going to have a 3-2 series lead here for Kansas City. And, of course, in the Mets game, if the Mets win, series over, they start to rest and they get ready for the World Series. And if the Cubs are able to pull a game out here, then it will be a 3-1 series lead. We've got high school Sportsline coming up on many of these same stations with Garrett and Fred and Dave Jecklin, I presume. They've got a bunch of guests lined up tonight, including East Hardy's coach, Chad Williams, Bluefield coach Fred Simon, Cabell Midland fullback Caperton Humphrey. I like that name. Jefferson receiver Christian Johnson, Greenbrier East running back Xavier Lawson. He's got like 5 billion yards, I think, unofficially, right, this season?
Yeah.
Almost 5 billion yards?
Yes, unofficial.
Exactly.
Unofficial. And Tulsa running back Luke Presley. All that coming up on High School Sportsline at 7:06, again, on many of these same stations. Special thanks to Jed Jerko for joining us. Also to Kadisha Buchanan. Back again tomorrow night at 6:06. Senator will be in. Coach Hunter will be in, and we invite you to join us. We're out. Have a good night.